Jason Blum believes he could get Robert Englund to play Freddy Krueger one more time. You have my attention. You have my attention. And before I start reading this, I need your opinions on this, guys. Yay or nay, would you welcome Freddy Krueger back? Not Freddy Krueger. Would you welcome Robert Englund back? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think he's too old? I will say this before I even start reading. I think Jason Blum has a trilogy in mind. Okay? Also, think about this too, guys. James Jude Courtney from the Halloween franchise is 65, something like that. Robert Englund he's older. He's like 70s. Like, guys, is he like early 70s? Something like that. Again, if he's healthy, they might be able to squeeze a trilogy out of Robert Englund. And I think if they could do that, it could be really interesting. Okay? Because this is a chance to bring Freddy, I guess, back to the dark side. You know, I want a more dark and evil. You can throw in some little fun moments in there. You know, some quotable lines. Welcome to primetime, bitch. I mean, you got Robert Englund. Okay, nobody can deliver those lines better than the guy. So yeah, have at it, have fun, but keep it dark. You know. And I used to be on the other side of this, but over the years I've started rethinking this. I used to be like, no, let's start anew, let's get somebody else. But with this whole requel age that we live in right now, I might be for it. Okay? Darren says he's 75. So if you want to get a trilogy out of him, you better get on it. You better get on it. Okay? I don't know health-wise how up to par, I guess, Robert, that's a horrible way to put it, but I don't know how healthy he is. That's the biggest thing, you know? There's some 75-year-olds that are freaking, like, guys, when I was in Japan, I seen 75-year-olds that were healthier than most American 30-year-olds, and I am not making that up. They could run a marathon. They could run a 5K faster than anybody I've ever seen. So that's what it all comes down to. If he's staying healthy, and you know, if he feels like he can do it, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So let's read this story. Okay, let's read this story because it does have me excited. The one franchise I want so badly is Nightmare. Okay. Jason Blum has made it clear many times over the years that he'd love to bring the Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th franchises into the Blumhouse family alongside Halloween and The Exorcist, which is certainly always a possibility in the future. The Friday rights are still tangled up in a legal mess, of course, but what's the latest on the Elm Street franchise? Speaking with Screen Rant while promoting The Black Phone last week, Jason Blum indicated that if Blumhouse is able to get into bed with Freddy, he's confident he'd be able to get Robert Englund back to play the Dream Demon one more time. I like that. Confident that he could. So that means he probably has some sort of relationship with Robert Englund. They've probably had some, light discussions in the past. This despite Englund saying several times in recent years that his days of donning the makeup are probably behind him. If he's stating that, then that could be related to health reasons. Okay? Which, if that is the case, then maybe Jason Blum has a plan of action. Let's get him a personal trainer. Let's get him, on a routine. Let's get him on a new diet. How serious do you want to go with this thing? And it's all up to Robert Englund. If Robert Englund says, hey, I guess I'm repairable, you can get me into shape to play this role, then hey, let's go. 75, he's young, Blum continues, referring to Englund. It's been a few years since we've heard a peep about the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, with Bloody Disgusting reporting back in 2019 that the Craven estate was seeking out pitches for a potential next installment in the series. The U.S. rights to the franchise reverted back to the Craven estate a few years ago. So they're holding the cards at the moment. That tells me that Blumhouse is probably in talks with the Craven estate. And usually when they're in talks, this shit doesn't get out to the public until there's an actual official announcement. So, and I don't think Jason Blum would say that unless some shit is going down at the moment. So, the Elm Street situation is far less complicated than the Friday the 13th in that Craven created Freddy and wrote the original screenplay for the New Line Cinema produced, released a Nightmare on Elm Street. Wes Craven's estate is the sole owner of the U.S. rights to Freddy and Nightmare on Elm Street, while New Line Cinema continues to own the international rights. Wes Craven's estate can keep it simple and make a deal with Warner Brothers New Line Cinema and keep it all in the family, or a slightly more complicated route would be to align with a different domestic distributor, Sony, Lionsgate, Universal, that would partner with Warner Brothers New Line, the latter of which would handle the international release. And this is all stuff that I'm sure that they're trying to figure out first before they go to the next step of casting, including Englund. Blumhouse could certainly factor into the situation, but as far as we're aware, no deals have been made for now. A new Elm Street with Englund is merely a Blumhouse dream project. Okay. This sounds like it could be years down the road, unfortunately. And with that bodes less likely that Robert Englund would be able to come back, because 75 is definitely up there, and we're inching towards 80. If they're doing a trilogy, he probably would be 80 by the time they got to it. So it would be tough to go that route. Lindsay brings up a good point about Flanagan. Flanagan's always been my number one, just because the guy's a great director, and B, he really wants, he put out a tweet saying, "Put me in, coach." He wants the job. So I want a director that's at that caliber. I mean, Flanagan he's so big now that eventually he's not going to even think about doing Nightmare, because he's going to get projects that are massive. He's just that big of a director right now. So if they want to get him, I think they need to get him quick. Now, I think Flanagan has an idea that doesn't include Robert Englund. Okay, this is just my own speculation. I don't know this for sure, but this was a couple years ago. Flanagan was talking about it, and I don't remember them stating anything about Robert Englund coming into the picture. So if Flanagan had his own idea, I think it's probably some sort of soft reboot, or maybe a new story altogether. Who knows? Because just the idea of a killer coming into your dreams, there's a lot of different directions, but one thing you definitely want to keep concrete is Freddy Krueger. You definitely want the character of Freddy Krueger, and you definitely want him to have the fedora, the knives for fingers, and you definitely want to have the sweater. But outside of that, it's fair game. You can kind of do whatever you want. So I just want them to freaking get something going. That's the biggest thing with Nightmare. I love the franchise so much. Like I said, it's one of those franchises where the good movies are amazing. Nightmare 1, Nightmare 2. Yes, I think Nightmare 2 is so underrated and so amazing. Nightmare 3. Dream Warriors is the ultimate horror sequel. It is just the creme de la creme. It's almost lightning in a bottle. You should never get a sequel that's that good. To have a returning leading lady in Nancy come back, to have such a great epic story with likable characters. I mean, the Dream Warriors, what is it, like 5 kids? And every one of them had their own personality. And it's just like lightning in a bottle. It's amazing that they were able to pull off Dream Warriors. So, 4 is fun. And then we start, and I've had some fun with 5 for sure. I don't like 6 at all. Okay? And I'll even say it. I have fun with the remake. I do. Okay? Is it perfect? Hell no. Is there too much CGI? Hell yeah. But I think Jackie Earle Haley does a pretty reputable job as Freddy. I like that they made it dark and creepy. And I really liked Katie Cassidy in it. I thought she was amazing. She was really great. I wish she would have been Nancy, but still, there's definitely some fun. And Kyle Gallner is in it. And by the way, guys, have you guys seen the trailer for Smile? I think it's called Smile. Thanks, hey dude, I appreciate that, man. I just saw this trailer with with the black phone the other day. That's probably it's probably jumped to the top of my I can't wait to watch this. And Kyle Gallner looks like he has a really substantial role in it, because I think he got gypped in Scream. Like, the guy didn't really get to do anything in Scream 5, you know? But he looks like he has a big part in this Smile movie. And the first thing I thought about with Smile, and I know I'm switching gears over here to Smile, but the first thing I thought about with Smile was, remember Truth or Dare? And they had this stupid CGI face in Truth or Dare, and it was just embarrassing, and it completely took me out of the movie. Truth or Dare was one of the worst movies of that year. I'm pretty sure I gave it maybe worst movie of the year. It was horrible. So I saw this trailer for this new movie called Smile, and I was like, that's pretty much what they should have done with Truth or Dare, because they don't use CGI. It's just a character doing this really creepy looking smile, and it works. You know, as soon as you start throwing CGI in there and you start contorting the face, but it looks fake, completely takes you out of the movie. And that's what happened with Truth or Dare. Every time that stupid smile would come on their face, I'd be like, what the fuck is that? It's stupid. So if you guys haven't seen the trailer for Smile, you know what? Fuck it. We'll watch the trailer, okay? Because I think some of you haven't seen this trailer. This looks really good, actually.
What is it you like to talk about?
My patient. Hi. I know you're nervous.
Stop
I
it,
just want
Lindsay.
to have a chat.
I'm seeing something no one else can see except for me. It's smiling at me. Oh my God!
Yesterday, a patient in your care died brutally in front of you.
I need to find an explanation for what happened.
It's smiling at me. It's smiling at me.
You're going to die! You're going to die! You're going to die! You're going to
I found 20 cases involving 19 victims with a direct line linking them all together.
There he goes, Kyle Gallner.
You said only 19. Why is it that everybody else who's seen it is dead and you're alive? I've seen it too.
You? Get away from me!
How long between each victim's death?
None of them survived longer than a week.
Today's my 4th day.
I am not gonna keep running.
I have to face it.
How does it make you feel?
I'm just really scared that something bad is going to happen. Rose.
I almost wish they wouldn't have showed that in the trailer, because that last scene, imagine seeing that in the theater and not knowing that it's coming. Oh my God, it looks really good. It looks fun.